examples of what that girl could do. If I could steal anybody's body talent, it would be her. The stuff she could do. I'm like, seriously.
And she's like,
she could pop it and she'd be like sipping tea. Hey guys, it's Jessie and Stacy with Chapter Chicks, and today we're going to be doing the favorites tag. We are still in tag extravaganza. But for this tag, again, to keep it ever fresh, ever changing, we are doing books in these genres that we think are underhyped.
Yes. That doesn't mean that there's not hype surrounding them, just
underhyped. So the first genre is children's books. Now for this, you can pick just your favorite children's book if you haven't done a million tags like we have, or you can do the underhyped version that we're doing. Depends on you. Or you can pick another one. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Just do it. Just do it. The first genre is children's books. And for me, I'm just going first. I'm just rolling with it.
She's just gonna go.
It's definitely The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Now, let me explain myself a little bit about this. I know that they made a movie. I know that there is hype around this series, but I don't think it is as much as the series deserves. It's well written, it's well planned out, and I think that as children's books go, Harry Potter should be #1, and The Lightning Thief, or the Olympian series, should be #2. That's just how good I think it is. It should be right under Harry Potter. Yeah.
That what you gotta say?
I think so. So yeah, there is hype around it, but not as much hype as I think there should be.
It is really good.
Because it is really good. Really well written, too.
Mm-hmm. I picked the Lemony Snicket series, a series of unfortunate events. And that also had a movie and also had a lot of hype at certain points. But I don't feel like it has enough hype in our age group. Like, I feel like it is a very popular children's book, but it's a very popular children's book that everyone can enjoy, and a lot of people don't.
That's the same way with The Lightning Thief. And plus, I think the movies got the amount of right of hype, but the books are not getting the hype that they deserve.
Josh actually read the Lemony Snicket series, which is rare.
So, how many have you read in it?
I think 3.
And they're like 14.
Yeah. But I haven't bought any more. I need to buy. I have Josh had a whole bunch, but then Juno ate some of them. So I had to go back and buy the filler ones, and whatever one I have I need one, and then I have like 5, 6.
Well, I really want to read that series. I never think to get that series ever.
It's so cute. It's so funny, and it takes like 10 seconds to read. The next genre is fantasy. And for this, I chose Born at Midnight by C.C. Hunter. I read it a while ago, but I really remembered enjoying it. And there's like 3 books out now, and I feel like I haven't heard anything about it since then. And I really remember liking it, so I feel like that's underhyped.
I remember reading the synopsis from that and thinking that, wow, this is going to be really good, because it seems like it's got a lot of different flavors to it.
Yeah, and it does follow a lot of the typical YA stuff, but it was done in a good way, I feel like.
Mine, I think I've said this before, is definitely Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta. She's just an amazing writer, and it really is a fantasy. There's not just like fantasy elements in it. The whole thing is a fantasy. There's adventure, there's castles. I mean, it's just an awesome fantasy. And Melina Marchetta, the way that she writes and the way that she centers her writing is just beautiful and fun, and something that really appeals to me for some reason. And I think you have to be in the mood for it, though. I mean, it is high fantasy, and you really gotta be in the mood for it. So don't try to read it during, I don't know.
Some people don't like reading heavy books in the summertime. They like reading light books.
Maybe that's what it is. But it's a really good fantasy that deserves more credit. Melina Marchetta as a whole deserves more credit. I haven't read any of her books. The only one I have is Jellicoe Road. I haven't read it. The next genre is mystery. I haven't read much mystery. And the one book that I can think of that has mystery elements in it is Vesper by Jess Simpson. I just came up with it. I think this book is really good. I read an arc of it, and I don't think I've heard anybody else review it or talk about it for that reason. And the way it's done so creepy and mysteriously, and darkness, shadows. I'm done. Have fun filming the video. Yeah, so Vesper is a really fun YA book that I think had very good twists to it. Underhyped. It's underhyped. That's what I'm going to say.
The one that I wanted to choose for this genre was Gone by Michael Grant. I feel like the whole series, there's like so much to it, and there's so many books out, but I hardly hear anybody talk about it. I know the Readables did a review over it, and that's the only person that I remember seeing. And it's really good, and it should have more hype, okay?
It makes you, it's like you don't know how to finish it off because you just finished it off the way you began. It's underhyped. It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
Next genre is the supernatural creature genre, and for this I picked The Dark and Hollow Places by Carrie Ryan. This is the best zombie series.
I still haven't read it.
Yeah, like what is your problem? It is the best zombie series that I have ever read. Not that I've read too many, but I love it, and I don't feel like very many people like it as much as I do. What's your problem?
I think everyone knows that it's good, it's just everyone's kind of putting it off. That's
well,
what
stop
mine.
that!
I've been putting it off.
Stop this at once.
So mine's been a recent read for me, and that is Phoenix Angel. I loved it. I felt like it was X-Men meets YA, and I just loved it. What else can I say? I mean,
besides she loves
there hasn't really been a chance for hype to build up around it yet, but I think it's a really fun book.
You're trying to build the hype.
Yeah, this is the moment right here to
Hype
see
began.
if it takes off. So number 5 is romance. Well, mine I think is underhyped. I don't think the book is underhyped, but I think the romance in the book is underhyped, and that's the romance of one of the sisters in Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I don't want to tell you which one because I don't want to spoil, but it is not the main one. I'll tell you that. And when I do my review of it, I will go more into detail in that. So if you want to know exactly who I'm talking about, then you can watch that review.
We'll put a link to it whenever she does it somewhere up here.
Yeah, but I think the romance in Sense and Sensibility is way underhyped. It's one of my favorite romances between two characters, and you never hear anybody talk about it. Especially when they review the book, they talk about the main romance, not this undertone romance.
For this, I chose The Iron Fae, which I know I have hyped up so much. I love it. It's one of my favorite books, and I feel like it's just as good as The Hunger Games and just as good as like The City of or The Mortal Instruments, and nobody has said that.
I have. I love it.
Yeah, you too, but like,
I don't think it's as good because like The Mortal Instruments for me has everything I look for in a YA book, and The Iron Fae does too, except for I feel like it just is missing one element, and I can't put my finger on what element it is. But I think it's because it's a slightly different style. Not that it's actually missing an element. Like when I picture the characters in it, I picture anime characters.
Really?
I can't picture real people because I just picture them
That's
as anime.
so weird.
Like when I see Ash, I picture him as a cartoon.
That's really strange.
Isn't it? I don't know why, but I see them as anime characters. I'm sorry.
I love that series. That's one of my absolute favorite series, just because of Ash. It's awesome.
I can see Puck as a person, though. Isn't that weird? It's like Puck is just walking around in a cartoon.
Like a Page Masters movie.
Yeah. So, number 6 is a crime genre, and for that we picked the same one, and that is White Cat by Holly Black.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
It's really good.
It's really good, and it's one of the only crime books I've read, so I can't really have much to compare it to. But the family in it is just awesome, and there's so many different layers to it, and it's just dark. There's dark tones to it that just pull you in. Holly Black has a very ominous writing style that's fun to read.
I want to read her a fairy series really bad because she's really good at doing dark, mysterious novels, and I feel like a fairy in that setting would be really good.
And I want to read her poetry books, the ones that are written in verses. Even though they are about teenagers doing drugs, and I said that's a pet peeve of mine, I think Holly Black could maybe bring me out of that just because she's such a really good writer.
Well, plus, you don't mind it if it's done the right way, too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, if they're just doing it for testing and stuff like that, it doesn't bother me, but I don't like reading about kids who are addicted and do really horrible things to get their drugs. They just ruin their lives over it.
The next genre that we want to talk about is horror. So, I've read a horror book. I know it, but I can't put my finger on it. So I'm just going to pick one that I want to read really bad, and that is It by Stephen King. Or really just any Stephen King novel. I'm dying to read one. And I have 1,000, but they're not in my apartment because my apartment is tiny.
This is going to sound really bad, but I have never read a horror book, ever. I mean, it took me forever. I was thinking and thinking and thinking. I'm like, I cannot believe I have not read a horror book. I've never read a book that literally scared me. I don't even think I've read a book that was considered horror. So, and I'm really looking forward. That's like one of the big things in my reading career is I want to be terrified by a book when I'm reading it.
You know what did scare me once? Chamber of Secrets. That snake, when it was talking to him in the walls, I'm like, whoa, what's happening?
No, I mean, like, terrified. Like, the feeling you get after watching a scary movie.
I was like
I
was 11, okay? 11.
Oh, God. Anyways, but the one horror book I just recently got, I haven't even had it in a haul yet, that I'm most looking forward to reading because the movie did not scare me at all for some reason. And I'm hoping the book version will.
I bet if the movie was made now, you'd be scared.
The Exorcist. I finally found me a copy of it, and I'm, like, so excited to read it. I mean, when I opened it up, the first line I seen was, "Help me, Mother!" So I'm really looking forward to that one. Hopefully it scares the pants off of me, because I watched the movie when I was probably 14, and I watched it with my 2 older brothers who were making fun of it the whole time. So I was laughing through the Exorcist.
A movie that did scare us, a movie that scared the people out of us, Paranormal Activity.
No, the one who scared me more was
The Fourth Kind.
The Fourth Kind. That terrified me.
It's not scary when you watch it at your house either. It's always just as scary when you watch a movie. Plus, when we watched Paranormal Activity, that was when it first came out, and everyone was not sure if it was like real or not. You know, because they made it out like it was real in the trailer.
But our mom is terrified of The Exorcist, and we're terrified of that movie, and we'll laugh at The Exorcist, and she'll laugh at ours.
Yeah, so she's like, that was nuts. We're like, Mom, you're so scared. Watch this movie.
Like, because I believe that aliens could exist. Yeah, I really do. Right? Like, just because we can't see it doesn't mean, like, the world, the universe ends where we can't see it. There's no edge. We don't know what's out there.
As saying that the world was flat and you'd fall off the end.
So that's like a real thing that could happen. That's why aliens scare the crap out of me.
The crap out of us. Plus, have you seen Ancient Aliens? Okay, have you seen that crap? There's aliens. They taught the Egyptians how to build pyramids and stuff.
But I am really looking forward to reading The Exorcist. Hopefully, it will scare the crap out of me because I was really disappointed when I watched it when I was a teenager, because Mom's like, I'm never going to let you watch that movie until you're 18.
She said there was, like, ambulances outside the theater in case people passed out and stuff.
It was so awful. And I'm like, Mom, just please let me watch it. I was 14, and I'm like, the boys are going to watch it with me. I had a friend over, and we were cracking up the entire time we were watching it. And Mom was like, what are you doing?
You're supposed to be scared right now. Supposed to be crying, Mommy!
I think she was disappointed that we weren't scared. Next genre is historical fiction. And for this one, I picked The Improper Life of Basilio Grove by Susan Gilmore. And this one is not really focused on a historical event, but a historical time period in the 60s. So it's not really considered a big historical fiction. But I really love the characters in that book. And I love the time period and the struggles the characters go through. And I think that that book is extremely underhyped.
I picked Kill 'Em All Hayward. It's the poop.
Awesome. That is not underhyped. Everyone knows To Kill a Mockingbird is awesome, and it needs to be read.
At that point, I was just like, oh my god, To Kill a Mockingbird, better be that one. Oh well, I still picked it.
That is so a fail for you, Jessie. Fail!
I love it so much. The next genre is adventure. Yep. I chose The House of Dark Shadows for this one by Robert Leporello. Stacey's so mad because I picked this book before she did. We've told the story before. But we can tell it again, okay? So we were at Borders! And Stacey's like, this book, because it shows all the other books in the background.
I had the second one.
The first one's never here. I want it so bad. And then she was off taking forever looking for some book. So I'm like I sat down on this bottom shelf in like a corner. And I'm sitting there.
I'm so glad I get to tell this story too.
You can tell me whatever you want. This is my side of the story, okay? You can tell when you come in. You're off looking at something else.
No.
And then I was sitting there and I'm just looking through all the books that I never really look at because they're all the way at the bottom and I'm too lazy to bend over. And
That's just too much detail.
And there's this book.
Sum it up.
And it's got houses on it. And I'm like, wow, this looks really good. So then we're showing each other our books afterwards. I'm like, Stacey, look at this book. And she's like, nah! She made that noise exactly.
I did not. I mean, my sister came up to me and said, I've been looking for this book for a really long time, and I found it. I'd be like, here, sister, you've been looking for this book
for months. To my credit.
I will give it to you. It was the last copy.
Stacey told me that a different time we went to Borders, not the same time we were at Borders.
It was the same day.
And also, I'll be sitting there trying to look at books, and Stacey will be like, Jessie, look at this book instead! And I'll be sitting there trying to read a synopsis, so I kind of ignore her sometimes.
I like to share my love of reading, okay? I'm not going book shopping with her anymore. There's plenty of subscribers on here who love to go book shopping with me and look at the books I showed them.
They'd like to go shopping with me too, okay? And they wouldn't bug me while I was trying to read a synopsis.
Yes, they would.
They would wait until I was done with the synopsis.
You're just mean. What are we doing?
I don't know. It's your turn, Doctor.
My pick is not a book that is solely adventure. That's
oh, mine is neither. I meant to say that.
But there's a big adventure element into it, and that is The Darkest Night, that is The Darkest Angel. I think is really good, and I think it's extremely underhyped. It's about vampires. It says it on the synopsis, but it was done back in the 80s before the slew of vampires came into YA.
Wasn't there an 80s slew of vampires also, though?
I'm not sure, but it's really good, and it's a trilogy, and the adventure in it is what sets it apart from the majority of vampire books. Her writing sets it apart from the majority of vampire books, but then the adventure on it sets it apart again. So it's fun, it's awesome, and I loved it. Definitely check it out.
Child!
What was that?
As strange as yours.
So this is the young adult book that you think is most underhyped, or just your favorite young adult book. Next one is young adult. I picked Shade by Jerry Smith Reddy. Shade is amazing, and it's about a concept that no one else has done before. There's some...
Don't spoil.
And there's some astrological... It's really good. It's really
I like it a lot.
It's really good because Jerry Smith Reddy knows what she's doing. She's not just writing and making up this fake world. She's bringing real world elements into it to kind of bring the writing to life. And it's just so good, so creative, and I really think that it's extremely underhyped.
The book that I would like to choose is Between by Jessica Wehrman. I was blown away by this book. Like, I was reading it and I didn't expect it to be as good as it was because it doesn't really tell you how deep it goes. But it was so good. And I haven't seen many people talk about it, but it was so good. So the next genre that we want to talk about is our all-time favorite.
Or all-time underhyped book. Our version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, again, necessarily I don't think is necessarily my favorite. But
just go.
I just like it a lot. I know people would be like... I chose The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer for this. I thought it was really good, and I did not expect it. It kind of, like, hit me from nowhere about how good it was.
So you do think there's hype around it, just not as much hype as the book deserves?
Yeah, because there is a lot of hype around it. Like, for a while there, I saw a bunch of people doing reviews, but then it just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it again. And I really like it.
Maybe because everyone's read it, except for moi.
Except for you.
Mine is Skin Hunger by Kathleen Dewey. It is just the Resurrection of Magic series. It is so good, and the covers are beautiful. You should show both, 1 and 2. It is such a good story. It follows 2 different characters with every other chapter format, and they're completely
I love those.
And they're completely separate from each other. And it's like the male character. This is on the back. It's like Harry Potter from hell. It really is. It's like the darker elements of magic. Like if there was a magic school, this is what you would actually expect it to be instead of light and fun and kiddie-ish. This is the darker side of it. And that's why I loved it. Real? And the girl character in it is amazing. And the thing about it is, the people who have read it really do love this series and are really big fans of it. But the author kind of like stopped writing it, and nobody really knew when the 3rd book was going to come out, especially since the 2nd one left on such a cliffhanger. But there has been rumors that she is very nearly complete to finishing the book, and it will be coming out soon, like sometime during the winter. And I'm like super excited about that because I've been waiting for this book for like ever.
She's been waiting.
I've been waiting for like 2 years. There hasn't even been a release date for like the past 2-3 years, and now it's like there's rumors going around that it might come out soon. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot. So I think it's extremely underhyped.
She liked it a lot.
I like it a lot. So that was our favorites tag, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Feel free to do this tag if you want to.
We tag you. If you're watching it, we tagged you.
This tag was made by Megs3493, and she also tagged us. So thank you so much for tagging us. We will put links to her channel down below if you want to watch her video or check out her channel. I really like this video that she does because almost every single book that she talks about, I have not heard of. And they all sound amazing. She makes them all sound amazing. No, I kid you not. Have you ever seen, like, one of those videos where people are doing a haul or something, and literally every book you've never heard of, and it just gets you excited about reading again? Because you're like, where has this world of reading been? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's what her video is like, and it makes me want to get every single book that she talks about in it. So if you want some different flavors of book, definitely check out that video. Yeah, Jesse's so excited for the tag. Feel free to do the tag, and thank you again, Megs, for tagging us, and yeah. Bye.
See ya. This tag was for you.
Show's over.
It's done.
Over.
Finite.
Goodbye.